Hey Boo, so if you have been struggling with how to process things, a disappointing relationship, didn't have the outcome that you wanted, being the strong friend, and some stuff isn't reciprocated, not getting the job that you wanted, or having a hard time with connections and having friendship, community, support, just feel like the weight of the world is on you. You don't know what to do. You may be experiencing panic attacks, doubt, insecurities, unworthiness, inferiority. If that is you, then this video is for you. Hey guys, what's up? My name is Dominique and I like to go by Neek. And my content is focusing on body positivity, mental wellness, and personal development. And as I mentioned earlier, if you have been in a space where you felt dark, you felt like it was too much on your plate, you're the strong friend and nobody checks on you, or you're the strong friend and you're hiding things, you don't know how to be vulnerable with people, then I want to share with you the resource that I have been using as I've navigated along on my journey. And I know it's just beginning, but I know there's power when we share our stories rather than being ashamed about what we're going through. So, I've mentioned it in a couple of videos that I recommend counseling or therapy. And so this video is not sponsored in any kind of way, but I wanted to get this off my chest today. I wanted to share with whomever this is meant to be for. Like, there is no stigma in therapy. There is nothing wrong with you. You're not crazy. But you may just have a hard time on how to process things. You may not know what to do when your back is up against the wall. You may be experiencing some cycles in your life and you'll be like, dang, why me? You may be attracting the same guy over and over. I know I was. And it wasn't until I was like, yo, I'm the problem. It's me. We got to do something about this. What really started my journey with mental wellness was being curious and being intrigued about mental wellness. I remember my company was offering certification in mental health first aid. And I was like, sign me up, boss, sign me up. I'm interested. I want to know more about it. And from that moment, I realized there was something about it that just really resonated with me. And I was curious. Didn't know that fast forward a few years later, I would really need to be the one sitting in the seat talking to somebody. And it wasn't until I started to experience panic attacks and internalizing things that I realized, yo, something has got to change. I didn't know how to process situations that I was going through, you know, whether it was a failed relationship, whether it was a family member not understanding a situation, whether it was a friend who didn't understand that you're changing and you don't even know how to be vulnerable and say that, or whether it was that coworker that was being microaggressive. Like, girl, is you the boss? Okay. Or any other things that can be going on in society. I was just up against a wall and I really didn't know how to process and handle everything that I was going through. I was overextending myself and I was not taking care of me first. I was pouring from an empty well. You know what I'm saying? I was up here saying yes when I needed to be saying no. And I was just like, oh my gosh, what is going on? It literally felt like I was spiraling. Y'all remember in The Wiz when Dorothy was like going into the yellow brick road, that's how I felt. Like it just felt like it was a tornado, it was a tsunami. And I was like, yo, I don't know what's going on, but I know I need to seek some help. And yes, I am a believer, and yes, I pray and things of that nature, but I needed something else because I'm like, I don't know what is going on, but I know something is not right. And so I reached out to my EAP with my employer, and they got me connected to the resource that they were using. Once again, this is not a sponsored video, but the resource that my EAP was contracted with was BetterHelp. So putting everything that I was dealing with into their questionnaire. And afterwards, I got a message from my therapist, and she's like, I'm here to help you. And I was like, okay. Now, I'll tell you, I've tried therapy before, but therapy is one of those things where you kind of dating for the right person. I ain't gonna lie, you dating. And if you don't date well, you're dating for the right person. You're dating for the right connection, building that rapport, that vulnerability. And I know it takes courage. You have to really be brave to take that leap of faith, to recognize that there's something wrong, but I want to change it. And I think that's the beauty in it. And I know in my last video with the book review, I mentioned don't knock it until you try it. Even Big Sean was saying that in his book, don't knock it until you try it. So I know that we are under a lot of pressure in society to look a certain way, drive a certain thing, have a certain career, have a certain man, have a certain woman, and nothing is wrong with that. But I know I was putting more pressure on myself than I needed to. And I needed a realignment in my mind because I was just doing the most. I wasn't even sensitive to certain situations. And I was just like, I'd be reflecting and I'd be like, dang, that was messed up. But I know at the same time, I was dealing with my own ish. And signing up really just helped me to realize everybody got ish that they going through, but it's what you do to process what it is that you're going through. Is what you do to be like, I want to break this cycle. Is what you do to be like, I want it to be a different outcome. And so that's the reason why I'm encouraging anybody who needs that resource to look into this platform to help you. They also have group sessions and classes, which have been so helpful because you can think that you're going through a situation alone, but you're not alone. There's plenty of people that are out there that are, experiencing life. And there's no rule book to this. We all grew up in different households and we all have different experiences that have shaped the narrative of our lives. And it's really refreshing to be validated, seen, and heard, because sometimes we don't have space to do that. But when you can do that in an environment where it's supported, you have a collective, you have a community, it just helps you so much. And these are some of the things that have benefited me. I know that it's helping because I haven't had those issues that I originally came into the sessions with. And now I am learning how to navigate and process things a little bit different. Now I'm giving myself the grace, the patience, and the kindness that I need, and telling myself, you're doing a good job. Even when it gets hard, even when that person disappoints me, even when I get rejected, we're like, it's okay. They're not a part of your season. They're not a part of the story. It's all good. And some things hurt more than others. Because you could be like, man, dog, I thought you was the one. I thought you was so fun. Or I thought this job should have been mine. I qualified. I got the degree. I got the skills. And you just be like, okay, that ain't it. And then sometimes pride can get in the way, but at least you can now be like, it's just not my timing. Who knows what the Lord was protecting me from? Remember, God, rejection is God's redirection, realignment. He got a different way for you. So I'm saying all of that to say, if you are struggling or you would like someone to talk to, or you just need an outlet, then I highly recommend you taking a step and just trying it out. I'm going to leave my link in the comments below, and you can test it out for 2 weeks. You can get connected with a therapist. You can join the classes. You can join the group sessions, and you can try it out so that you can have an outlet. It's a part of the self-care journey. And, if you like it, then continue it. If you like it, then see if your job will allow you to utilize EAP to get more sessions. A lot of our companies that we work for, they give you at least 6 sessions free on any topic: finances, stress, anxiety, parenting. They give it to us. So utilize it. Utilize the resources and the benefits that your employer is providing to you. And I just hope that, me sharing some of the things that I was going through can help and resonate someone else, because we all have something that we're aiming towards, right? And it's not going to be the yellow brick road. It's not going to be peaches and cream. It's not going to be creme de la creme all the time. It's not going to be that all the time, but it's just like, how do you handle the situation when you're up against things? Like, you really do have to change your perspective and your mindset just so that you can navigate on this journey well and be the best version of yourself. So I just wanted to share that with you all, and I hope that you would utilize it and know that this is a safe space. I know it's a cliche because we're on the internet, and the internet is not always safe, but what I want to do is for whoever my target audience is, like Keith Lee say, I hope you reach your target audience. That's who this is for. That's for you. This is for you. Okay. So like I said, I'll leave my link to try out the BetterHelp platform below, and I hope that you found this video valuable and impactful. And don't forget to subscribe if you like content like this, and let's ride this journey together. Like and hit the notifications bell, and until next time, bye.